Fenway Park, Roger Clemens lost to Chicago for the second time in 6 days. Clemens caused the loss largely by himself by a throwing error in the 8th inning. It put Carlton Fisk on third base, and then Julio Cruz's game-winning sacrifice fly scored Fisk from third, and the White Sox defeated Boston by a score of 1-0. It was Clemens' third loss of the season at home, and it proved that Jose De Leon's 7-2 victory over Clemens last week in Comiskey Park was no fluke. Tonight, it's Game 2 of this 3-game series as the Red Sox host the White Sox live from Fenway Park in Boston. The Sox 32 Sports Network presents Chicago White Sox baseball. Live from Fenway Park in Boston, it's the Chicago White Sox and the Boston Red Sox. The starting pitchers tonight, 2 right-handers, Richard Dotson for the White Sox, Dennis Oil Can Boyd for the Boston Red Sox. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Fenway Park. I'm Don Drysdale along with Frank Messer, and happy that you've joined us tonight. Game number 2 of this 3-game series. The White Sox winning a thriller last night by a score of 1-0. And tonight, they will send Richard Dotson to the mound as he tries to get unraveled and break that 5-game losing streak. And it'll be interesting, Frank Messer, as we watch the outcome of Dennis Oil Can Boyd, who has not started since the early part of July.
That's right. July 8th was his last start. He did pick up a win there. He was suspended by the Red Sox for throwing a temper tantrum in the clubhouse. I'll tell you one thing about Boyd. You don't understand what's up topside here. I don't think his teammates do either from talking to some of them. But one thing you have to realize, the young man can pitch. He's got a good right arm.
Well, there's no question about that. And, of course, right now the White Sox in a little bit of the woes themselves. Neil Allen was supposed to come out today and pitch in a simulated game. He's still a little ouchy. And, of course, Bob James a little ouchy. So there's certainly concern with those 2 right-handers.
Well, similar injuries, I understand, to the pitching arms of both James and Neil Allen.
Well, we'll give you the starting lineups right after this commercial timeout.
This Chicago White Sox game is brought to you in part by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all you do, this Bud's for you.
Right. Wow.
Attention, please. Chicago coaches. First base. 35. Ed Brinkman. Third base. 28. Doug Rader. Thank you.
Well, it's a beautiful evening here at Fenway Park in Boston. And let's check out the starting lineup for the Chicago White Sox. Leading off and playing left field, John Cangelosi, Darrell Boston in center, Harold Baines in right, and Jerry Hairston, the DH tonight. Tim Hewlett will be at second base, Russ Morman at first base, Carlton Fisk catching, Ozzie Guillen at shortstop, Julio Cruz at second. Move Hewlett over to third, will you please? And that is the Sox lineup. It'll be Richard Dotson on the mound for Chicago with a record of 7-12. He'll pitch to a Bo Sox batting order of Marty Barrett leading off and playing second base, Wade Boggs at third, Bill Buckner at first base, Jim Rice in left field batting cleanup. Don Baylor is the designated hitter. Dwight Evans plays right field. Rich Gedman will catch. Tony Armas moved down to the number 8 spot in the batting order tonight. He's in center field. And Ray Quinones will be at shortstop tonight, as he was last night for the Boston Red Sox. And there's the young man who has been the center of controversy here in the Boston area for the past month, Dennis Oil Can Boyd. In 18 starts this year, he has a record of 11 wins and 6 losses. Now, you cannot dispute that. He has an earned run average of 3.71. You cannot dispute that. 18 starts, 5 complete games, 128 and 2/3 innings. He has walked 30, struck out 70, and allowed roughly a base hit an inning, 127 base hits. The only thing that you wonder about Boyd is the psychological reaction or whatever it is. I just don't understand what goes on in the young man's mind. Tonight's umpires, Nick Bremigan at home plate, Rocky Rowe at first base, John Hirschbeck at second base, and Larry Barnett will call the plays at third base. So we're ready to go here with game 2 of this 3-game series. Quite a pitcher's duel last night all the way with Jose De Leon for the Sox and Roger Clemens for Boston. Tonight, Dennis Boyd, they call him Oil Can. He's ready to pitch to John Cangelosi and ready to bring you all the action, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Don Drysdale.
Thank you very much, Frank, and once again, good evening, everyone. John Cangelosi to lead it off against Boyd. A record of 11-6, as Frank mentioned, and the right-hander's first pitch is a little high, and we're underway. It will be interesting to watch the consistency of the control of Boyd tonight, as he has not started that is since the early part of July, and that is just outside the count 2-0. Cangelosi hitting .259 with a pair of home runs, 23 RBI. The weather tonight, it is a beautiful evening here in New England. 76 degrees, 49% humidity. Slight breeze out of the east at 10 as Cangelosi takes a strike. As Boyd moved onto the field to move out to the bullpen to take his warm-ups. Kind of a difference in fan reaction, although you would have to say that the cheers, they overshadow the boos. That's fouled away, and the count is 2-2.
What breeze there is, Don, you mentioned it, blowing out of the east about 10 miles an hour, and it is blowing toward left field. Should be, was supposed to be, I understood, a standing room only crowd tonight. They will not have standing room only because I see some seats, but a very, very good crowd, and I would expect over 30,000 for the ball game, Don.
Well, they had a good crowd last night, again tonight, and probably again tomorrow night. That's hit back up the middle, Barrett over, backhands, he can't make the play. Base hit center field. So Cangelosi is aboard. And it'll bring on Darrell Boston.
Well, Cangelosi now has a 6-game hitting streak. He had one of the 4 hits last night for the Chicago White Sox. We'll take another look at it. A breaking ball hangs, and Cangelosi drives it right back up the middle, almost played by Barrett. Even though he had fielded the ball, he would not have been able to throw Cangelosi out at first base. So John is on with a leadoff single.
And that will bring on Darrell Boston, hitting .357. Darrell, he's hit in all 4 games since he has been recalled and been in the lineup with Harold Baines on deck. Cangelosi, pretty good lead at first. You got to watch Boyd. He's got a pretty good move. He's quick feet. The infield double play depth, the outfield straight away, fairly deep. Boggs even with a bag at third. Rice now moving slightly towards the alley in left center. And it will roll foul. Good thing it did roll foul, because if that had been fair, Boston's got a base hit. Well, a reminder that here's an update on the Dodge dealers score big with a White Sox sweepstakes. And so far in August, the White Sox have scored 20 runs. Now mark that down, 20 runs. And if you correctly guess the total number of runs the White Sox score in the month of August, well, you can win yourself a 1986 Dodge Daytona.
That wouldn't be too tough to take, would it?
Not at all.
How about going to Daytona in a Daytona? That wouldn't be too bad to do.
Nothing wrong with that.
Saw that last bunt attempt by Boston. If he gets that ball on the grass, it stays fair, and he's got a base hit. But over on the dirt, it just trickled foul.
Cangelosi aboard with a leadoff single, has increased his hitting streak to 6 games. Cangelosi 42 stolen bases on the year. And Boyd certainly aware of the speed of Cangelosi and wants maybe another pitch from Gedman. It's got to be a great asset, Frank, for that second place hitter when Cangelosi can get on base consistently. There's the pitch out, and Cangelosi going nowhere.
No question about that. Of course, you hit behind a guy like Cangelosi. When he's on base, you think fastball, fastball, fastball.
Well, you should. And of course, it takes a special breed to hit behind a runner like that, because you've got to have good bat control. You've got to be able to take pitches, and even though you get down in the count with 2 strikes, you've still got to be able to handle yourself. There he goes, and that's low, and they can't throw him out. He's got 43. So the screwball down low, and that is part of the repertoire of Boyd.
Well, we'll take another look at it. Cangelosi stealing right after the pitch out, figuring they won't pitch out twice in a row, and he picked a good time to go. The screwball down in the dirt. Gedman cannot handle it. And Cangelosi steals unmolested, no throw.
Boy, you can see that dirt mark up around just above the socks across his chest. The infield, after they watered it down and after they did the dragging and then watered it down. There's a drive hit deep center field, and that will send Cangelosi to third as Armas makes the catch. Cangelosi moving to third, and he makes it without a play. So there's one out, and that will bring on Harold Baines. And of course, Baines hitting at .299 with 15 home runs and 64 RBIs. That leads the Sox in that RBI award with Jerry Hairston on deck. But I was talking about Cangelosi. After they watered down the infield just to settle the dust after dragging, Cangelosi, when he went into second base, he almost knocked his chest down around his belly button. He just hit and stuck.
Yep.
It's still a little wet out there. And John, I'm sure, said, oh, wait a minute. A lot of places, they'll take those head-first slides and kind of skid a little bit. He did not. Baines takes a strike and a count 0-1. So the Red Sox will give up the run for the out.
Well, now, the Red Sox as a team have stolen a total of 24 bases all year. That is as a team. And 24 out of 50 attempts. You don't think they'd water that field down intentionally now, do you? And make it a little bit wetter? Of course they would.
The guy leading the Red Sox is second baseman Marty Barrett. And Marty doesn't have the greatest speed of all. Barrett with 9 stolen bases, and it drops way down to 3 after that.
Well, a good groundskeeper, and it's no secret. A good groundskeeper can perhaps mean a few games to his team. I believe the late Bill Beck used to say a good groundskeeper meant 8, 9, 10 ball games a year to a ball club by tailoring the field to his own team and tailoring it against the team visiting. In other words, if you got a fast team coming in, your team doesn't steal bases, put some extra water out there, slow it down.
Baines fouls it away, and now he's in the hole. 0-2 the count. What Harold's trying to do right here is just put the ball in play anywhere back to the back to the pitcher, and the Sox have a run with Cangelosi standing at third.
Yeah, Boston is conceding the run with the infield way back.
He went around, could not hold up on the screwball, and he strikes him out.
And a good scramble right there by the catcher Gedman, as the pitch was again down in the dirt. Here it is again. We can take a look at it on the replay. You'll see the pitch on the ground, short hopped really by Gedman. He has to pick it up and tag Baines out. Just a real bad pitch, as Baines was completely fooled that time by Boyd.
Well, Boyd taking a little stroll down the backside as he says something to Marty Barrett, and now he'll come back up and face Jerry Hairston. Hairston hitting .296, 3 home runs, 20 RBIs. Jerry's hit safely in 12 of 16 games. On deck, Timmy Hewlett. Hairston has been the Sox DH in the last 4 games, going 4 for 14. Missing outside to count 1-0. Cangelosi standing at third. There's a strike and the count 1-1.
One thing Boyd has done, Don, is establish that screwball early in the ball game, giving every hitter something else to think about when he comes up there.
He will do that. This is a big run psychologically. Cangelosi eking down the line. Now Boyd looks over at him and backs off. Now he will work out of the stretch. So that might be just to the favor of Hairston. We'll wait and see. Cued foul. The count moves to 1-2. Cleveland leading Detroit in the first of a doubleheader in the 5th inning, 5-2. So the fans here, they get a little hand clapping going as they look for the strikeout to Hairston.
Looking around the ballpark, Don, folks are still coming in. I guess that it's a late crowd, and they may have standing room only before the night is over.
They're filling up in a hurry, aren't they?
Really are.
High. And the count goes to 2-2.
I'll tell you one thing, we're going to have a long ball game if Boyd stays out there, because he's going to take a lot of time between every pitch. Here's that last one, a high fastball that Hairston almost bit for, but held up in time.
Ground ball right side. Buckner there gives it to Boyd in time, and he indeed does get out of it. So the Sox are gone. No runs on a hit, no errors. They leave Cangelosi at third, and after the first half inning of play, it's the White Sox nothing and the Red Sox coming up.
Well, there it is. The White Sox failed to score despite that leadoff single by Cangelosi, and that was a tremendous psychological boost for Oil Can Boyd. Now we look at Richard Dotson and some figures on him. In 22 starts this year, he's won 7 and lost 12 with an earned run average of 6.41. 120 and a third innings pitched, 50 walks, 48 strikeouts, and he has allowed way over a hit an inning, 151 base hits. Dotson has lost his last 5 outings, and he has not pitched well in any of them. That is what is discouraging. Last time out, for example, he went just 1 2/3 innings, gave up 4 earned runs on 4 hits, fell behind on the very first pitch of the ball game when Lou Whitaker of Detroit hit a hanging curveball over the right field wall at Comiskey for a home run. And Dotson, since pitching his only complete game of the season on the 4th of July against the New York Yankees at Comiskey, has lost his 5 straight starts since then and has lasted no more than 4 2/3 innings in any of the 5 straight losses. Against Boston, no decision in his only start against the Bo Sox this year. He worked 7 innings in that ball game, and that was here at Fenway Park on April 19th. Juan Agosto lost the game 3-2 in relief. Lifetime, Dotson has a record of 7 wins, 6 losses against the Red Sox with a 4.19 earned run average. Well, Don Drysdale, the last time Dotson started, I said I thought that physically he'd overcome his problems. Now you have to start wondering whether he has or not. I've got to think this is a tremendously big start for Dotson if he wants to stay in the rotation. He's certainly got to show more than he has his last 5 times out.
Well, he'll be definitely trying to do that, Frank. And the big thing, Dot, in between starts has been working on one thing, and that has been driving at the hitter more consistently on every pitch. That fastball a little high, the count 1-0. Now his velocity is not quite what it was, say, a few years back, but what he has to kind of manufacture out there now is a little different style of pitching. As Marty Barrett has a first pitch outside, there's a strike, and the count 1-1. And by that, it really doesn't make any difference whether if you throw 95 or 85 or 75. 95 means you're going to get away with a mistake or two now and then. So 85, 75, and around there, you've got to pitch more. You've got to move the hitters around a little bit, and you've got to hit spots. Little high, the count 1-0.
Well, coming to mind, a winning pitcher and one of the better pitchers, I think, in the American League, who does not throw hard but moves the ball around, has good control, is the young man Boddicker down in Baltimore. Now, his fastball won't come up there even 85, I don't believe.
No, not at all.
But he still is able to win.
And he moves the ball around. That's just keeping the hitters off balance. Fly ball right field. Baines right there. And there's 1 out.
Well, I think it's a tremendous plus. You mentioned Dotson between starts has been working on it. So at least he's out there trying. He is trying to make that adjustment that has become necessary in his career.
And that's the big thing. That's the one good feeling that you have about it, is that Richard knows what he has to do, and he's trying to do it. It's not to where you get out there and get bullheaded and say, well, this is the only way I can do it. This is the way I'm going to do it. And all of a sudden, you find yourself sitting around not knowing what in the world's going on as Boggs takes a strike. But he's certainly conscious of that and has been working on it. And it's not going to come just one time in between starts. It's going to take a period of time. Up high, the count 1-1. Boggs hitting .345, 5 home runs and 48 RBIs. I've always maintained, Frank, that every time you go to spring training, you learn how to pitch all over again. Good fastball there by Dotson. You could see there that he had definitely the drive coming at the hitter. And the count 1-2. So he missed with the off-speed pitch and comes back with a good fastball. Billy Buckner on deck. Curveball hit to Guillen, and he boots the ball. Had plenty of time, and he tried to make the one-handed catch, and he could not find the handle.
All right, let's take another look at it on the replay. An error going to be charged, and rightfully so. Right there, the ball came up, and Guillen, trying to make the one-hand running play, is unable to make it, and he'll pick up an error. There's a play that should have been made.
Now that'll bring on Billy Buckner. At infield, moves into double play depth. Boggs a life at first base on the air by Guillen.
That's Guillen's 13th error, by the way, this year.
Buckner hitting .242, 10 home runs, 59 RBIs with Jim Rice on deck. Fastball for the strike, and the count is 0-1.
Guillen made only 12 errors all last year in 150 ball games.
You could see that ball was going to do a little something to him. First of all, it was a breaking pitch down. Boggs kind of inside out of the ball, and that ball's going to have that reverse spin, and you could just see it spun right out of the glove of Guillen. They will keep Boggs close. In the first inning, Toronto leading Kansas City 1-0 up at Exhibition Stadium. Off the end of the bat to right center. Boston is there and calling. 2 out. And that'll bring on Jim Rice.
Well, Don, you're talking about that score up in Toronto. You got something here in Fenway Park that's almost a lost art, and that is a manually operated scoreboard. For the American League scores out there in left field at the base of what they call the Green Monster, they have human beings out there that operate that scoreboard. They're not done by push buttons or by remote control or lights.
I used to love to sit in the Polo Grounds in New York, and it was all the same way. But you used to, now time called, there's a beach ball gets on the field, but you used to try and catch him as you would sit in the dugout, watch a pitch being called a ball or a strike, and be able to catch the number, say, 0 going to 1 or 1 going to 2. And I'll tell you, they had the quickest hands in the East. You could not catch him doing it. Now here, the Green Monster, they've got the push button lights as far as the balls and strikes and outs are concerned, but as far as the runs, hits, and errors as the inning goes by, that's all manual. As Rice takes the strike.
And the scores of the other games are
Right.
changed up there manually.
A little bit low, the count. A ball and a strike to Rice.
You see a scoreboard where they had hooks, and they'd hook the numbered placard up there.
Yeah.
Had a little hole in the top of it. Yeah.
On that outside corner, good pitch by Dotson.
Well, Rice doesn't think so. Look at him. Now take another look at it. Looking right in over the pitcher's shoulder. That ball tailed back in over the outside corner. Well, there's Rice's reaction to it. He thought that pitch was away and looked on the replays that it tailed right back in the strike zone.
Well, there's the case. If you're Richard Dotson and say, I can get that pitch, I'm going to stay right out there with him. And he makes him hit it to the right side. Cruz is there. Gives it to Mormon, and the Red Sox are gone. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left. After 1, no score.
It's such a nice night in Detroit. They're going to play 2. Kansas City at Toronto, Milwaukee in New York for single games. Elsewhere in the American League, Texas at Baltimore, California at Minnesota, and Oakland in Seattle. In the National League, the Cubs beat the Mets this afternoon 8-5. Pirates are hosting the Expos. Philadelphia's at St. Louis. And we'll update those scores as we go along. Doug?
And Timmy Hewlett takes a strike leading off the top of the second inning. It'll be Hewlett, Mormon, and Fisk in that order to face Oil Can Boyd. Hewlett has hit safely in 8 of 10 ball games. Takes a strike at the knees, and the count 0-2. Hitting .261, 10 home runs, 30 RBIs. Time call.
Another beach ball gets loose, and I don't know why fans bring the beach balls out to the ballpark. They seem to do it here at Fenway probably more than any other park in the league. And there's the rest of the National League slate. Houston at Los Angeles, Atlanta at San Diego, and Cincinnati at San Francisco. How about those Dodgers? What is it now, 8 in a row?
8 in a row.
Wow.
There's a bouncer out in front of the plate. Well, it looks as though Boyd right now has been going with a fastball and the screwball, basically. One and two. Of course, those are things that the hitters sitting over on the bench, they will sit and watch to see what pitches a pitcher is throwing. That's out of play. Makes up one of the Knights of the Keyboard over to our right.
Knights of the Keyboard. I haven't heard that in I don't know how long. Since the big freeze. Yeah, that's what it was.
Bouncer back up the middle. Quinones comes on, goes across to Buckner. One away. And that'll bring on Russ Mormon, the first baseman. Mormon at .571 with a home run and 2 RBIs since being called up from Buffalo. Gone 4 for 7. Made his major league debut. That was Sunday at Comiskey Park. Takes low, the count 1-0.
What a way to break in, huh?
3 for 4. Single and a home run in the same inning. There's a strike and the count 1-1. And of course that, you recall, tied a major league record set in 1950 by Billy Martin.
Billy Martin.
Bouncer third base side. The count moves on to 1-2.
I still think when Billy tells that story, he's got some reason why he should have had 3 hits in that inning.
Well, I've known Billy a long, long time. And if you look at Johnny McNamara, and the longer you know Billy, the longer the stories get.
Yes, yes.
There's a bouncer to Boggs at third on the big hop. The long throw. They just do get him. Buckner, an old pro, at coming off of that bag.
Well, let's take another look at it. Boggs will play the ball back, and Mormon showed pretty good leg getting out of first base. Now watch Boggs back off to play a second bounce. He got a nice hop and just barely did get Mormon over there at first base. Well, the kid does not run that badly, Don.
Not at all. Here's Carlton Fisk. Carlton at .202 with 8 home runs, 46 RBIs. And hoping that the friendly confines of Fenway can get things going for him. Sunday, it is 8th home run of the year, battling out of a 6 for 65 streak. On deck, Ozzie Guillen. Hit hard. Boggs has it go off his chest, stays with it, throws to get it. Well, the White Sox are gone 1-2-3 in the second inning, and after 1.5, no score.
Every Monday night Sox home game this year is a Sox half-price night. All box, reserved, and general admission tickets are half price on Monday nights. Our next Sox half price night of the year is set for August 25th with the Kansas City Royals in town. So why don't you get the family together and come on now. Even Jack Nicholson could come in for half price on Monday night at Comiskey. Well, I'm a son of a gun. There he is, Jack Nicholson.
I think he got things messed up here. He didn't know the Celtics and the Lakers were playing.
Well, I tried. He thinks he's at Boston Garden. He's got the green jacket on, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All right, welcome, Jack.
He's a good sports fan.
I know he is. And a very avid sports fan.
Yes, he is. Here's Don Baylor as we go to the second inning as he takes outside to count 1-0.
Many movie people are great sports fans.
They really are. Of course, they've had a lot of chance to watch a lot of that out in Southern California, if that happens to be their home, or in New York City, or wherever they go. Major markets around the country. 2-0 the count. Get a lot of them in that Chicagoland area. Jams him. Good pitch by Dotson as Hewlett gobbles it up. One away. Now that'll bring on Dwight Evans. Dwight hitting .255, 14 home runs and 64 RBIs. On deck, Rich Gedman. Curveball in and over. And the count is 0-1. Foul back, 0-2 the count, so Dodson out in front of Evans.
Evans is a hot hitter right now. He's had 5 hits in his last 8 at-bats. He only went 1 for 4 last night, so he had to go 4 for 4 a night before last.
Bouncer up the middle. There's Ozzie Guillen on to Mormon. 2 outs. And that will bring on Rich Gedman.
Here's a guy in his career, Don. Excuse me. He has sort of owned Dotson. You know, there's some hitters really own a pitcher.
Yep.
Gedman's got Dotson in his pocket.
Well, he's gone 10 for 24 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs in his career. But I'll guarantee you don't have to remind Rich Dotson of that.
No, I bet you don't.
One thing, pitchers will remember those things. Now Dot ready to go to work. Messing inside with a breaking pitch, and the count 1-0.
It's funny how those things happen. Some pitchers own hitters. There's some hitters can't get a hit off a pitcher if he underhanded the ball up there. And there are some hitters that a pitcher just can't get out.
It's a funny game. That is hit deep right center. But there it's playable as Darrell Boston makes the catch, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down, and after 2, no score. Well, while you're looking at the dimensions of Fenway Park, the capacity of 33,583, just a reminder to all you joggers, you can register now for the White Sox 86 Bud Light Fun Run, a 3.5-mile run which will start outside Comiskey Park and finish at home plate. Now the run is set when the Sox and Toronto play one another. That'll be Sunday, September 7th, and your $10 fee includes run registration, 2 complimentary general admission tickets, and an official Fun Run t-shirt. For more information, call 924-1000. With Frank Messer, I'm Don Drysdale. No score through 2 to the 3rd. Here's Frank.
Okay, Don, thank you very much. And it's Ozzie Guillen to lead things off. And he takes a strike. Guillen has had but 1 hit in his last 12 at-bats. His batting average now at .246, 2 home runs, and 35 RBIs. Out of play on the left side. And 2 strikes the count to Ozzie Guillen. We have no score here. The White Sox have the only base hit in the ball game. A leadoff single by John Cangelosi, who stole second, went to third on Boston's fly ball to center, but was stranded when Bain struck out and Hairston grounded out. He reaches, does Guillen, and bounces it to Barrett. Strong throw over to Buckner. And the last 5 outs have been on ground balls.
Now that was the breaking pitch, the off-speed pitch. Well, looks like Booter's been around again. Ron Hasse, the latest recipient.
Welcome to the White Sox, Ron. Yeah. Welcome to Booter Hill's corner. Julio Cruz will stand in. Cruz went 0 for 2 last night. And takes a ball. He's hitting .238, no homers, 17 RBIs. Although he went 0 for 2, he drove in the only run in the ball game with a sacrifice fly as the Sox won it 1-0. Ball and a strike to count.
There's the Scroogey again, Frank.
Yeah.
He's staying with the fastball and Scroogey mainly.
And the bunt. But Boyd bounces off the mound and throws him out. 2 down.
Well, he almost took his time enough on that to throw it into the runner. A good play by Billy Buckner to make the play on that. Cruz gave that away. Just here's a little quick on it. Boyd coming off. Now he'll take his time and then throws it into the runner and put a little something on it besides.
So there are 2 down, and Cangelosi, who has the game's only base hit, he bounced one back up the middle in the first inning. But the Sox could not score him. He takes a ball. I think that was as big an uplift as Boyd could possibly have. Have a runner at third with only 1 out in the first inning and be able to get out of it. He falls behind 2-0 to Cangelosi. You know, it used to be you come in here to Fenway Park, you figure between the 2 ball clubs they're going to be 12, 14, 18 runs scored, but not anymore. This ballpark has not given up runs like it used to. That is ball 3. Now, people say, well, ballpark's got nothing to do with it, and the people who say that are right. Teams coming in here just don't score like they used to. Red Sox don't score like they used to. 3-1. In the air, center field, driving Armas back and to his right. And the Sox are out in order in the middle of the 3rd inning. Chicago nothing and Boston nothing. To our affiliates, WIZZ TV in Bloomington, WRSP TV in Springfield, WQRF TV in Rockford, WXIN TV in Indianapolis, WAYK TV in Palm Bay, Florida, KLJB TV in Davenport, Iowa, and our flagship station, WFLD TV, Fox Incorporated in Chicago. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Tony Armas will lead off, to be followed by Ray Quinones and then Marty Barrett. Armas went 1 for 3 in last night's game. Both Sox had only 2 base hits. Armas had 1. I'll take that back. They had 3 base hits. Armas had 1. Evans had 1. Boggs had 1. And a ball to Armas. Armas batting .265. 5 home runs, 20 RBIs. Ball and a strike. Richard Dotson working for the Sox tonight. An error by Ozzie Guillen on Boggs' ground ball in the 1st inning. Put a base runner on. But since the error, he's retired 5 in a row. And nobody's hit the ball hard, really. Breaking pitch missing. 2 balls and a strike. Wind-up game of this series tomorrow. Floyd Bannister and Bruce Hurst, the probable pitchers. And to his left, Hewlett makes the play and throws him out. 1 away here in the bottom half of the third. Watch Hewlett on the replay as he'll swing out to his left. Makes a good play on the ball. Gets a nice bounce. Able to set. And a strong throw across to Russ Morman. 1 out brings up Ray Quinones. Quinones. 0 for 3 last night, batting .238. Pair of home runs, 15 runs batted in. Foul ball on the left side. He was out in front of it. Well, the Sox have won 3 games in a row. Trying to make it 4 straight here at Fenway tonight. Been a tough ballpark this year for Chicago. That's a strike. And the count is 0-2 on Quinones. Of the 4 games played here at Fenway Park this year, last night's win was the first one for Chicago. In the air, right field, Baines has it measured, hardly had to move for it. 2 down. And it'll bring up Marty Barrett. Barrett flied out to Baines, his first time up. Baines is handled 2, and center fielder Boston is handled 2. Each infielder has handled a ground ball, and there's been a pop-up to Hewlett at third. Dotson has worked well through the first 2 2/3 innings. Ball 1 now to Barrett.
He certainly has, Frank, and I'll tell you, that's got to be awfully encouraging to Jimmy Fregosi and Dick Bosman down in that dugout. And also to Richard Dotson.
Yeah, I was going to say to Dotson himself, it's got to be.
That's right.
He's, I'm sure, had some doubts popping up. That's a strike, and the count is 1-1. I think it's been a season of peaks and valleys for Dotson. Of course, when spring training started, he had to wonder if he could come back at all after the surgery.
Oh boy, I'll tell you.
And then he pitched pretty well. He had good days and bad days early in the year. Then he hit a foul out of play. He had a spell there where he pitched well, and I think it was climaxed with his 4th of July complete game win over the Yankees. And then all of a sudden, there's the downhill, the downgrade.
Well, you know, Frank, when you stop and think about it, there's been a lot of talk about the surgery, and you have to face reality. The good Lord did not put zippers on us, and anytime you have to have surgery, why, it is something unusual, and it's going to take Dot a while just to get that mental block out of his head too.
That one's playable, and Fisk gets back there and grabs it. 3 up, 3 down. We've completed 3 here at Fenway Park with no score. Maybe he flew over the cuckoo's nest.
Well, there's some American League scores. 5-3 Cleveland over Detroit in the 7th. 1-0 Toronto over Kansas City in the 2nd. And 1-0 Yankees over Milwaukee. It's a 1-1 tie. Texas, Baltimore, California, Minnesota, Oakland, Seattle later. National League this afternoon. The Cubs over the Mets 8-5. No score. Montreal, Pittsburgh. Scoreless. Philly, St. Louis. Rest of the action on the West Coast.
All right, Don, and here we go to the 4th inning, and it's Darrell Boston to lead off. And now Boyd comes with a breaking pitch. And a strike called on Boston. Darrell flied to center in the 1st inning. Fairly deep fly ball. Cangelosi was able to tag at 2nd and go to 3rd after the catch. But he was stranded at third when Baines struck out and Hairston grounded out to first. So Boyd got off the hook in the first inning, and that was a tremendous confidence builder, I'm sure. He's retired 9 in a row now. 2 balls and 1 strike. Sure, I don't have to say this in front of Don, but it doesn't matter how many simulated games you pitch or how much you pitch on the sidelines. It is not like getting out there and pitching competitively against another club.
No, there's no question. There's just something about that adrenaline, Frank. As soon as you get out there and you're going against somebody with a different uniform on, why, there's more adrenaline flowing out there. And especially now with him coming back here tonight. You got a full house here tonight at Fenway Park. And he's trying to get back on the right track and get the Red Sox on the right track.
That's out of play. Well, I'll tell you one thing. If the Red Sox are going to hang in there in the East, they're going to have this young man win ball games for him. His 11-6 record coming in certainly helped them to the overwhelming lead they had at one time, as much as 8 games. They lead Baltimore by 3.5 at the moment to the Red Sox after last night's loss to Chicago. Boston has not been winning of late. Struck him out. That'll be the second strikeout for Boyd, as he claimed Baines in the first inning, and he's now retired 10 in a row.
Now here you see the off-speed pitch and a little Scroogey.
Harold Baines will step in. He struck out his first at bat. No score. We're in the 4th inning, 1 away and nobody on. Fouled off. Started to say a moment ago and corrected myself mentally. You almost say the Red Sox have not been playing well of late. When a team doesn't win, you say they haven't been playing well of late. Sometimes a team will play well and don't win. And so Boston has not been winning of late. They've won 2 out of 4, but they've lost 4 of 6, 10 out of 14, and 14 of their last 20 have been losses. Foul back and just overhead. They, however, have been in sole possession of first place in the American League East since May 15th. Their biggest lead was 8 games. 23 of their wins this year have been come from behind victories. I always thought that was a sign of a good ball club. The count goes to a ball and 2 strikes to Harold. Club that can get down and come back and win ball games. And another beach ball gets loose, so we'll have a moment or two. As of right now, the Yankees are the top hitting team in the American League with a team batting average of .277, followed by Cleveland 274, Toronto 272. Boston is 6th in the league at .267, and the White Sox next to last with a .249, just a point ahead of Kansas City's .248. Nubbed foul off the left side. Boston has the second best pitching staff in the American League with an earned run average of 3.89 behind Milwaukee's 383. Kansas City also at a 389. Baltimore at 393. And the White Sox with a 429 are 9th. Out of play again. Minnesota's staff shows the worst earned run average of 4.91. That one may be playable on the left side. Coming over, Quinones calls for it and has to reach back. He overran the ball, but he reached back to make the catch. 2 down.
And a reminder that most baseball fans have probably dreamed of playing against stars like Minoso, Pierce, or Skowron. Well, your dreams can become reality at the 2nd annual White Sox Rodman and Renshaw Fantasy Camp and Investment Seminar. Next February 1 to 8, you can attend a week-long baseball fantasy camp in Sarasota, plus receive up-to-date investment information from the experts at Rodman and Renshaw. So for more information, call 924-1000.
Two down, and Jerry Hairston, the batter, grounded out. First baseman to pitcher, his first trip. The Toronto Blue Jays lead the American League with 1,648 total bases. Ball one. They also lead the league in total number of base hits with 1,028, even though the Yankees have the best team batting average. The Minnesota Twins lead the league in home runs with 144. The Yankees 130 are second. Check the swing, but a strike called. It's 2-1.
Now there was a Scroogey again. See, Jerry started trying to stop, but it cost him anyway.
And the count will be 3-1. As we go along, the farther we go, the better control Boyd has of that Scroogey. He struck Maynes out with a Scroogey that was in the dirt. Threw a couple more in the dirt early in the game. Full count, 3-2. We're in the top of the fourth. We have no score. Only one hit in the ball game. A Cangelosi single leading it off. Fouled off on a check swing. The Yankees hosting the Milwaukee Brewers tonight and leading 1-0 at the end of 3. Looper down the left field line. It's going to drop, and a fair ball. Ball is in play. Kicks over to the stands. Jerry for two. He's safe at second base.
Well, there was just a hustling double by Jerry Hairston because Jim Rice in left field has an excellent arm. There was just a little sandwich out there. And we'll take another look at it. There's the Scroogey. Jerry just looping it the other way. That ball dropping a few feet fair and then spinning against the railing. Rice getting on it in a hurry. Harrison running hard and just there under the tag.
Second hit of the ball game. Hairston at second, 2 outs, and Tim Hewlett grounded out to the shortstop. Quinones his first at bat. Ball one. Two outs. Sox try to break through on Boyd. That will not do it. Fly ball right center field will be caught by Tony Almas. And that retires the side. No runs, a base hit, and Hairston stranded at second. In the middle of the fourth, there is no score.
3.5, and the White Sox and Coca-Cola would like to invite you to be part of the official White Sox fan club, the Chi Sox Club. For just $10, you receive 2 free tickets to a home game, invitations to all fan club sponsored events, and much, much more. Well, you can call or write Comiskey Park.
We go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. The Major League's leading hitter, Wade Boggs, will lead it off, followed by Billy Buckner and then Jim Rice. Boggs came in at .345, the best in either league. He reached on an error by Ozzie Guillen his first time up, and he has been the only base runner for Boston. Dotson has retired the last 8 men in a row. Nobody has hit the ball hard. Strike one to Boggs. Well, earlier this year, Boggs on a hot streak. He was hitting a little right around 400, 401, 402. A lot of stories started circulating. Would Boggs be the next 400 hitter? This day and time, I don't think anybody's going to hit 400. And not for the reason advanced necessarily by Al Kaline, who says it's because the kids go out and try to hit home runs and don't try to hit for average. I think of the pitchers, Don, the relief pitchers, the relief specialists now. You don't see that many tired pitchers anymore. 3-1. I'm not saying that Ted Williams hit 400 because he was facing tired pitchers. Don't get me wrong. But it's a different breed now. You're coming up developing relief pitchers from their first day in uniform. Boggs turned loose and he fouls it off for a count of 3-2.
And then again, Frank, in all due respect to Wade Boggs, when you mention Ted Williams, it's awfully hard to put them both in the same category, in my opinion.
Oh, no, no, I'm not doing that.
Right, I know.
No way.
Just think if Williams would not have, if he would have defied that Williams shift every now and then. I mean, he would have just went the other way.
Fouled away. I asked Ted Williams. I did an interview with him years ago when he was managing the Texas Rangers. And he said during the course of the interview, Don, I've saved the tape. I've got it at home. It's one of those I wouldn't part with for anything. He said there's never been a hitter that he had seen either in person, on film, or on videotape. Never been a hitter that couldn't have hit 15 points higher for his career. And I said, Ted, does that include Ted Williams? And he said, you're damn right it does. He said, if I hadn't been so stubborn and stupid at times, and he gets mad. He would get mad when he would talk about it. And he said, certainly I could have hit better. He said, I might have hit 20 or 30 points better for my career. Boggs keeps fouling him off. So you're right. Ted realizes that now, but he was. I didn't know him that well. I'd seen him play as a player, but he must have been a very stubborn man.
Well, he has his own thoughts. Let's put it. I don't think I've ever been around, and I've been fortunate to be around a lot of great people in my life. I don't know if I've ever been around a more dynamic person than Ted Williams.
Boggs fouls another one off. That'll be over the roof.
You know, you can. Ted is just, I mean, you can sit up here in the booth and you can be 2 booths away and he gets going and he gets excited just like you were talking about. You'll hear him 2 or 3 booths away.
Now the rave for the fan who got the foul ball. In the air, center field. And Darrell Boston's going to get this one. And Boggs, after fouling off so many, is retired on a fly ball to center. You had to wonder how. And his managerial career was not that good. Ted did not last that long as a manager. I've talked to some players who said yes. They said Ted could help me. I've heard other guys say no, there's no way he could help a player. He was so good, but he can't impart that knowledge. So I don't know. Billy Buckner flied out his first time up. Takes the ball. No score. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Well, I can remember standing around talking with him down in the instructional league 5 years ago this coming winter. And the young man that he was very impressed with is the young man playing center field tonight for the Chicago White Sox, Darrell Boston.
Is that right?
Yes, sir, Bob. He said, boy, he said, look at him. He said, now all he's got to do, he says, is swing the bat. Swing it.
Buckner fouls one off, and the count will be 2-1.
And you know, that was the big thing. One of the big things that Willie Horton and Richie Allen and everybody, Doug Rader, they've got across to Darrell Boston right now. Go up there and swing the bat.
Well, now that would have had to have been after Darrell's rookie year then, his first year.
Right. Yeah.
Pro ball. Good pitch there from Dotson, and 2-2 the count to Buckner.
Well, when you look at Darrell Boston and you look at the tools that he has, you've got to like him. Ted Williams or no Ted Williams. But he saw it. He said, oh, he said, who's that?
That's got a chance to be a base hit. Oh, what a play by Darrell. He got a great jump at his speed, carried him to it. He held on when he hit the ground. An excellent catch by Boston in center. Just talking about him, Don. There it is.
Yes, sir. Ted Williams or no Ted Williams. You've got to like that. And take another peek. Boy, he got an excellent jump. That ball heading to the gap and slicing away from Darrell. There you can see the jump and those long loping strides. And There's just a great catch.
Well,
Super catch.
Yes, it is. Another angle on it. Just as great. I was going to say they played it back on the Diamond Vision board or whatever they call it here at Fenway Park, and even the Boston fans oohing and eyeing. Jim Rice hits one in the air down the right side. Moving over Baines and makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. And 11 in a row retired by Dotson at the end of 4. Chicago nothing, Boston nothing. Friday, August 15th is WMAQ Radio White Sox Umbrella Night. The first 15,000 ladies 15 and over who attend the Sox game with the Milwaukee Brewers will get a free White Sox umbrella, compliments of WMAQ Radio. For tickets, call 559-1212 and use your charge card, or stop by the Comiskey Park ticket office. Well, we've completed 4 here at Fenway. No score, 5th inning up, and here's Don Drysdale.
All right, Frank, and it's Russ Morman fouling the first pitch back, and the count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Morman bounced to third his first time at bat on a bang-bang play at first base. Ground ball the hole. Quinones has it go off his foot. And Morman's aboard. We'll see how they score.
I think I'd have to give him a base hit. That's a tough play right there. We talked about Morman getting down the line pretty well to first base. And Quinones, if he comes up with the ball, his momentum's carrying him the wrong way. We'll see. There he goes over, and the ball does kick right off his foot as it went under his glove, and the official score sees it my way for a change. It's a base hit. What do you think, pitcher?
If I'm pitching, he better catch it. Don't give me that backhand set and throw. Get over in front of it.
All right.
But as long as it's Russ Morman, we'll give him a hit. Here's Carlton Fisk. Carlton hit the ball hard to Boggs his first time at bat. Takes the breaking pitch for the strike. There's one of the few breaking pitches that Boyd has thrown tonight, so we'll sit and watch him and see now if he changes a pattern just a touch. He's been coming with the fastball and the Scroogey, the off-speed pitch, and has been very successful as Ozzie Guillen stands on deck. There's another breaking pitch in the same spot. And the count is 0-2. Pudge say, how in the world can you start throwing that and hit those 2 spots? Big hole on that right side. Of course, you've got that green monster in left that Fisk has tattooed many times in his career. 0-2 the count. 1-1 tie in the second inning. Texas at Baltimore. Yankees still 1-0 over Milwaukee at Yankee Stadium in the 4th. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Fisk. There it is, high, deep left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It's a fair ball. Hit the foul pole. Carlton Fisk, his 9th home run of the year, and the Sox take a 2-0 lead.
And with that Carlton Fisk home run, our good friends at Busch Beer will donate $250 to the Chi Sox kids to help in the fight against terminal illness in children. Our thanks to Busch Beer and our congratulations to Pudge for hitting his 9th home run of the year.
That ball was trying to hook foul, and it did not. It just caught the foul pole. Pudge congratulated by his teammates as Ozzie Guillen stands in, and the White Sox on front 2-0. Well, he threw him one too many and hung it. Julio Cruz on deck. Out of play, the count 0-2. Up the middle, Quinones over, knocks it down, can't make a play. Base hit for Guillen.
Well, that ball's fine at Quinones now, isn't it? We'll take another look. Low pitch. And again, it's it right back up the middle. Quinones moving over to his left. Gets the glove on it, but he cannot come up with it. If he feels that ball cleanly, he's got a possible chance again at first base.
Yeah, that'll bring on Julio Cruz with John Cangelosi on deck, and now we'll see how Jim Fregosi wants to play it right here. 2-0 White Sox, top of the 5th inning, nobody out, 2 runs in on the 2-run home run by Carlton Fisk. Got a bunt, takes a strike. John Cangelosi on deck. Boggs charging down the line at third. Boyd will keep Guillen close. Ozzie doesn't have that big a lead. Foul away, and the count 0-2. Boggs and Buckner both in shaking hands with Cruz. Boyd taking a little too much time, and you see the partial line on Boyd. Cruz backing out. Fouls it away. Yeah, he cannot bunt. That'll go down as a strikeout, number 3, and it'll bring on John Cangelosi.
Well, take another look at the last pitch. 2 strikes on him. Cruz squares off, and in the bunt attempt he slaps at the ball and fouls it off.
Well, as many times as Julio Cruz has bunted, you could see the angle of the bat not out where it should have been. So he's gone, and that brings on Cangelosi. John has singled, and he has lined hard to Armisen center field. Time called again, and they will probably make an announcement here very shortly as another beach ball goes out on the field in center field.
Yeah, I can look out there and see 6 of them in the air at one time out there in the bleachers. There they are.
Now, the only problem being is that doesn't help a pitcher's concentration that much.
No, it doesn't.
Now, they're not doing nothing to help their home team if that's what they're trying to do. That is outside, and the count 1-0. Well, the Sox are up. They don't care about it. You want to go out and do that? Hey, let us get some more points on the board.
Sure.
Darrell Boston on deck. Now Cangelosi will call time as Boyd takes some more time. One ball and 1 strike to count. One out, 2 runs in here in the top of the 5th inning. Carlton Fisk, 2-run homer. That's inside, and the count goes to 2-1. For Pudge's 9th home run of the year, the 2 RBIs give him 48. White Sox on top 2-0. There goes a runner, and the pitch fouled away. Again, will go back, and the count 2-2.
Now we'll take a look at the move of Guillen behind Boyd. There's his jump. Boyd does not have that big leg kick. Guillen running down towards second base. The shortstop Quinones came over to cover the second base bag, and it looked as if Cangelosi tried to go through the left side as he fouled the pitch away.
The count even at 2-2. Again to center field. Right there is Armas. 2 outs to Darrell Boston. Boston tonight is flying to center and struck out. He's 0 for 2. Darrell coming into tonight's game with a 4-game hitting streak. Outside, the count goes 1-0. 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for the White Sox. Nothing across the board for the Red Sox. Errol Baines moving out to the on-deck circle. Second game of this 3-game series. 1 more tomorrow night. The Sox will return home to Chicago. They will take an off day at home on Thursday and move on up to Milwaukee, starting a 4-game series with the Brewers on Friday night. Guillen goes, and the pitch swung on a miss. Throw, not in time. Now Ozzie Guillen with a stolen base, and the count 1-1.
Al Gibman looking down there, wondering why he was not out. Throw just wasn't there in time, Rich. There he goes. Watch the play. Down at second base. Head first dive. And he beats the throw into second base. Ozzie Guillen steals his 7th base of the year. Right there. He just beats the throw in.
Just a high tag. That's it. Beat the throw. 1-1 to Boston. Off of the glove of Boyd. Quinones has it. Throw just in time to get him. And they didn't know at first base. Buckner did not hear any call. Yeah, that will do it as the side is retired. At last play 1-6-3. The Sox are gone 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and they leave a man to the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 White Sox.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago White Sox for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the expressed written consent of the Chicago White Sox and Fox Television Stations Incorporated is prohibited. Now let's go back and take another look at Carlton Fisk's home run. It's an 0-2 pitch. A breaking ball from Oil Can, and watch it hang. It hung right up in his eyes, and he did not miss it. The ball is hit high, deep to left field. The only question, fair or foul. And right there it comes down and right off the foul pole. The foul pole is a fair pole. So Fisk had his 9th home run of the year, and the Sox a 2-0 lead. Don?
Here's Don Baylor as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Baylor popped to third. It'll be Baylor, Evans, and Gedman here in the bottom of the 5th. Oh, 1 the count. Just low, and the count goes even at a ball and a strike. The Red Sox starting tonight with a 3.5 game lead over Baltimore. Outside in the count 2-0. Who tonight, after 3 innings, are jumping all over Texas 6-1. 8th inning, Detroit has come back to take a 6-5 lead over Cleveland. And through 5, it's 1-0. Yankees over the Brewers. Bouncer. Ozzie at short. Mormon, and they get him. Ball started to sail a little bit on Guillen. See the high hop, then takes a little bit off, and when he takes a little bit off, that ball starts to take off. And Mormon, good thing he's the size that he is, makes the play. Now there's 1 out, and that will bring on Dwight Evans. Takes a strike at the knees, and the count 0-1 with Rich Gedman on deck. Evans bounced to short his first time at bat. Little looper into shallow right. Baines coming on. He is there. 2 out. Here's Gedman, who flied to Darrell Boston and the alley in right center field his first time at bat. On that inside corner, and the count 0-1. Gedman didn't care for that call, but he was jumping out of the real quick. You see that ball tailing back. Rocky Rose says yes sir, or I should say Nick Bremigan. Tony Armas on deck. 2 outs. 0-1 to Gedman. 2-0 White Sox. Bottom of the 5th. Pop left side. Hewlett moving over, but I think Timmy's going to run out of room, and he will. Back about 3 rows. To the count. That's what you call getting the head out early. And he got it out early. Deep down the right field lineup in that top deck. 0-2 the count. Hit to the hole. Mormon over. Gives it to Dotson in time. And the side is retired. 1-2-3. We're through 5. 2-0. White Sox.
The next White Sox fireworks night of the year is Saturday, August 16th, when the Sox take on the Milwaukee Brewers, and it's sponsored by Busch Beer. Don?
And Harold Baines will take low. The count 1-0. Kansas City has taken a 5-2 lead over Toronto in the 4th. That's high to right center off the end of the bat. Armas out number 1. And that will bring on the designated hitter, Jerry Hairston. Fifth inning, Yankees still 1-0 over Milwaukee. That is Dennis Rasmussen on the mound for the Yankees tonight. Rasmussen and Wigman for the Brewers.
Well, the Brewers like to pitch that Higuera every night against New York, wouldn't they?
I guess so. Boy, he's had some success. He's having quite a year. 14th win of the year last night.
I think he's 4-1 against the Yankees.
Harrison out in front of the Scroogey. The count 1-1.
Not this year, but in his career, which is a very brief career so far.
That's
in the
right.
major leagues.
Aguirre with his 14th win last night, tied with Boddicker for the well, that's 3 behind Roger Clemens. Down low, the count 2-1. High, 3 balls and a strike.
I'll take those 3 you just mentioned as the nucleus of my staff, and now you pick.
That's pop left side, foul territory. Boggs over, and he runs out of room. Hit that railing just about the time that the ball got there. It was back about a row and a half.
Now we'll take another look at it. Boggs will give it an all-out effort right there. He goes as far as he can, reaches in, but that's just a little too far. His hat goes in. He gets it back from the fan.
And the count full, 3-2 to Hairston. There's another looper left side. This time Boggs is over, and he'll make the play.
Well, I tell you, almost didn't get that one. He recovered in a hurry. Misjudged the ball just a bit. But the bottom line is, do you catch it or don't you? And he caught it. Now we'll look at it again. Drifting over again toward the seats. He almost turned the wrong way and had to spin back around and pulled it in. Another angle on the same play. Reaching back, and he's got it right there. A lot of white showing, but he held on.
2 outs to Timmy Hewlett. And the count is 0-1. That's Mormon on deck. Quinones on 2 hops on across to Buckner, and that'll do it. The White Sox are gone 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 6th with the White Sox leading it 2-0.
Now you can get half-price tickets to 6 selected White Sox home games courtesy of Arby's. Just stop into any Chicagoland Arby's location, make a minimum $2.50 purchase, and receive your free half-price coupon, good for any box, reserved, or general admission seat. The good offer while supplies last. The offer good while supplies last. The good offer is good while supplies last. And the White Sox will donate 50 cents from each coupon redeemed to Big Brothers, Big Sisters. A lot of zeros out there on the scoreboard, except for the top half of the 5th inning when the Sox plated a pair on the home run by Carlton Fisk. So we go to the bottom half of the 6th. Armas, Quinones, and Barrett, and Steve Lyons. He feels comfortable here at Fenway Park, having played here last year in the first half of the season.
And Tony Armas will lead it off. He'll be followed by Quinones and Barrett. Armas has bounced to third, his first time at bat and only time at bat. Oh, and 1 the count. High and away, the count goes to a ball and a strike. Well, it's all over. That first game of the doubleheader, the Tigers came back and defeated Cleveland 6-5. They've got 1 more to go. Out of play, 1-2 the count. Tigers starting tonight 6.5 games behind these Boston Red Sox. Cleveland was 6 back. New York 4.5. Baltimore 3.5. A ball and 2 strikes. In the West, the Angels still on top. A game and a half over Texas, 8.5 over the White Sox. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. Seattle 9 back, Kansas City 9 back, and Minnesota and Oakland. Two and 2 the count. The count goes full at 3-2. That's deep left field. Going back is Cangelosi. This ball is on the screen. Home run, Tony Armas, 2-1 White Sox.
Well, Dotson went 5 innings of no-hit ball. Armas leading off the 6th with the Red Sox first hit, and it goes all the way. Home run number 6 this year for Armas. And the Sox lead is cut in half. It's now 2-1 Chicago.
And that'll bring on the shortstop, Ray Quinones, who lined to right.
Well, we're going to take another look at it, Don. First hit of the ball game, and it didn't have much movement on that pitch as it came in, and Armas was able to handle it into the screen atop the left field wall.
Shot down the left field line. Quinones on his way to second base. The throw by Cangelosi. They got him. And Quinones is out, and here comes Johnny McNamara. What a play by Cangelosi and a good tag by Cruz.
Yeah, Johnny Mac barking at second base umpire John Hirschbeck. Trying to explain to Hirschbeck what McNamara feels is the error of his ways. But he will not change Hirschbeck's mind. And Quinones is out with a single. Give him a single, and he's out on Cangelosi's throw. And we'll take another look at it as McNamara will lose the argument. The ball scorched. That was the same pitch that Armas hit for the home run. Now let's watch Cangelosi play it off the wall right there. Quinones on his way to second base. And the throw into second base. And there's the sweep tag, and Cruz has got him at second. And I'll tell you, Hirschbeck was right on top of the play. You'll take another look at it from this angle. Looks to me like he got his arm before he got the hand on the bag, and Hirschbeck was right on top of it.
And Marty Barrett takes his strike. Look at it again. Now watch the sweep tag, the quick tag by Cruz, and watch the hand. There comes a glove across the hand. And the hand just now gets to the bag. Well, indeed, he was out. Again, there's that wet dirt down there. It didn't skid fast enough. 2 balls and no strikes to count. I will check that count on you. They have 3-0. Barrett has fly to right. Now he's saying the count's 1-2. He's telling Rene Latchman. He says the count's 1-2. They have 3-0 on the board.
Latchman had just flashed him a takes on it. He said, hey, time out here,
Yeah.
coach.
Wait a
It's
minute,
a 1-2 count.
I'm going better than that. I'm hitting 282, man. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Off the end of the bat up the middle. Ozzie Guillen at short to Mormon. 2 outs.
He should have took.
And that'll bring on Wade Boggs. Well, I'll tell you, you know where Quinones lost it, Frank? He lost it. Cangelosi got on that ball so early. He lost it going around the bag at first base because he was looking at the ball as he made his turn. And we've talked about that quite a bit. A lot of times runners will make that mistake. They'll get looking at the ball instead of looking at that first base coach right there and putting the head down and making the turn and going. He was looking at pretty soon he had his turn, taking him way out around and then trying to cut that angle down coming back into second base. There's a high chopper to Cruz. He will throw him out, and that will do it for the Red Sox here in the 6th inning. They pick up a run on 2 hits. No errors. They leave nobody, and we're through 6 from Fenway. 2-1 White Sox. On Friday, August 29th, it'll be the Sox and the Texas Rangers, and it's Busch White Sox Thermal Mug Night. The first 15,000 fans, 21 and over, who attend the game, they'll get a free White Sox thermal mug. That's compliments of Busch beer. For tickets, call 559-1212. Use your charge card or stop by the ballpark. Right here through 6, the White Sox 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. The Red Sox a run on 2 hits, no errors. Along with Frank Messer, I'm Don Drysdale. We go to the 7th, and back to the mic. Here's Frank.
Okay, Don, and Russ Mormon leads it off and takes a strike on the first pitch from Dennis Boyd. Mormon is 1 for 2. He grounded out to the third baseman Boggs in the second, then singled off the foot of the shortstop Quinones in the 5th. Fouls that one back for a count of 0-2. But Mormon was on when Fisk hit a hanging 0-2 curveball off the foul pole in left for a 2-run home run. Armas has homered for Boston, and Chicago leads 2-1. Popped him up foul off the right side. Under it, Buckner. And hauls it in. Quite a pitcher's duel, and I got some figures for you. That was the 92nd pitch thrown by Dennis Boyd. 65 of those pitches have been strikes. Only 27 have been balls. Richard Dotson has thrown 72 total pitches. 50 strikes, 22 balls. You throw strikes, you got a much better chance. Here's Fisk, the difference in the ball game. The home run in the 5th was his 9th of the year, giving him 48 runs batted in. Prior to that, he had grounded out to third. At one stretch of the ball game, Dennis Boyd had retired 11 White Sox batters in a row. Dotson, at one stretch of the ball game, retired 15. Make that 14 men in a row. From Boggs reaching on an error in the 1st to Armas leadoff home run in the 6th. Dotson had retired 14 straight. A ball and a strike to Carlton Fisk. Same time tomorrow night. Hope you'll join us here on the White Sox television network. Floyd Bannister against Bruce Hurst. 6:30 start Chicago time. He swings through a sharp breaking slider, a ball and 2 strikes. Well, we'll take another look at the swing and the reaction. Pitch may have been out of the strike zone. And Fisk not too happy with himself for swinging at that one. 1-2 the count. Lined hard. Foul. So Pudge will come back and try it again with a count now of a ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Good level swing. The ball is hit hard, but he's pulled it just foul. It'll go off the glove of a spectator or the hand. No, he had a glove on there. That's the one that tried to make the catch, could not. That was really not interfering with the ball in play. The ball was headed in toward the seats. Two and two. Well, I'd have to say this, that Johnny McNamara, the skipper of the Red Sox, has to be very pleased with what he's seen from his right-hander Dennis Boyd tonight. Retired Mormon on a foul pop-up to Buckner here in the 7th inning. And working on Fisk. 2-2 pitch. That one slipped out of his hand. 3-2 count. Boyd, for his long layoff of nearly a month, last time he started and pitched was July the 8th, has not walked anybody. He has struck out 3 men. Allowed only 5 base hits. 3 of them came in the 5th inning. 2 of them hurt him. Mormon single and Fisk home run. Little looper. That one is a fair ball. Base hit for Fisk. His 2nd hit of the ball game. So Fisk is on. Base hit number 6 for the White Sox. Let's see the pitch again. And Fisk goes down and hits a pitch that was just about shoe top high, really, right down around his ankles. If he'd let that one go, it would have been ball 4. Instead, he singles to left field. So with 1 out, Fisk on. Ozzie Guillen, the batter. Guillen had an infield hit in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 2. Popped him up left side. The shortstop, Quinones, dances under it, and there are 2 down. Chicago leads 2-1. We're in the top half of the 7th inning. And Sambito goes to work in the Boston bullpen. First activity we've had in either pen tonight as Joe Sambito is up. When we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and we're in the top of the 7th now, we'll update all the other scores for you. Cruz 0 for 2. Foul left side. And that will be out of play in the seats. We have a capacity crowd here at Fenway Park tonight. The paid attendance has not been announced. I heard before the ball game they were going to have a sellout. Then when the game started, there were quite a few empty seats, but a late arriving crowd probably held up at the gates coming in, and everything is filled. I'm sure it is standing room only. We'll get the attendance figure a little later on. No balls and 2 strikes. The count on Julio Cruz. Sox trying to hang on and increase a 2-1 lead. All the runs on homers. The pitch. Right at the second baseman, Marty Barrett. Throws him out to retire the side. End of 6.5. The White Sox lead 2-1. Updating all the scores. Detroit scored 3 in the 7th for 6-5 win over Cleveland. Second game scoreless in the 1st. Kansas City leads Toronto 5-2 in the 5th, and Milwaukee has tied New York 1-1 in the 6th inning. Baltimore out in front of Texas 5-1 in the 4th. California leading Minnesota 1-0 early, and Oakland at Seattle will be getting underway shortly. This afternoon, the Cubs over the Mets 8-5. Montreal is shutting out Pittsburgh 2-0 in the fifth. The Phillies and the Cards tied 1-1 early. The rest of the games later starts. Atlanta at San Diego, Houston at LA, and Cincinnati at San Francisco. Right here, the White Sox lead 2-1. Chicago 2 runs, 6 hits, an error. Boston 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. A 2-run home run by Carlton Fisk. A solo home run by Tony Armas, and that is the scoring in our ball game. Buckner to lead off. Bottom half of the seventh inning. Bill has flied to center and lined out on a great catch by center fielder Darrell Boston. So the pitchers duel between Richard Dotson and Dennis Boyd continues at Fenway Park. Let's look at that catch by Darrell Boston off Buckner. That was his last at bat. Don, that's as fine a catch as you're going to see in a long, long time.
Boy, I'll tell you, Darrell did everything right. A good jump. He went after the ball hard and made an excellent catch.
2 balls and no strikes. And when you have a 1-run ball game, a play like that looms even larger. And we do have a 1-run ball game right now. Chicago leading 2-1. Dotson with a fastball for a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And tonight, Don, we're seeing a completely different Richard Dotson.
Well, he's pitched a whale of a ball game. There's no question about that, and I'm sure Jim Fregosi is watching him very closely down there, because this is the longest that Dot's gone, as you mentioned at the top of the program, Franks, and for a long, long time.
Since the 4th of July. That's going to be a base hit, and Buckner has a leadoff single. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, the 3rd hit off Dotson. And the batter will be Jim Rice. Here it is again.
Well, the fastball down and away. Buckner just lines it right back up the middle. And I believe that the phone has rung in the Sox bullpen. It has, and we'll get some action down there.
Well, the Sox pen a little thin right now. Bob James, an injury to his pitching arm in last night's game, had to leave the ball game. Dave Schmidt came on to pick up the save. Looks like it might be. Well, we'll check him out for sure before we say. Ball 1 to Rice. Jim has grounded out to second and flied out to right. And now Dotson goes behind Rice. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Dot has lost a little bit of the fastball, and certainly you would expect that as you look at Nelson, the right-hander, and Series, the left-hander. But what he's got to do right here, he's got to stay with whatever he has left in the tank.
In the air, right field, not too deep. Baines got a good jump coming on, makes the catch. Had a notion to throw to first, but no chance to double Buckner off. 1 out.
In other words, a lot of times a pitcher will get in a situation like this where they will say, well, I know I'm losing it, so I will finesse just a shade. But in a situation like this, playing here at Fenway, now Bosman's going to come out and he's going to talk to him, and number one, he's going to find out exactly how he feels. But from up here, just with an eye, there's a little bit off of the fastball. But what you don't want to do in a situation like this, you don't want to finesse to the point to where you get yourself hurt. You've got to go with what's left in the tank, hope that you can get out of this inning right here, then you go back in fresh. You've still got to lead 2-1. The manager says, how do you feel? Said, well, you got to be honest with him, say I'm losing it a little bit, and let him make up his mind what he wants to do. Bozzie out there talking with Dot, and I'm sure telling him the same thing. Well, I was just talking to that young lady and her husband, Jane Fonda, over in the booth. Tom Hayden, her husband, with her back up behind, and their young son Troy here in Boston to watch the game tonight. Just came from Cooperstown.
Don Baylor, the batter, with one out, and Buckner at first. Now here's a man you have to be very, very careful with. Dotson goes over to first base. Well, night for celebrities here. Jane Fonda here. Jack Nicholson here. Don Drysdale is here. Lauren Brown is here.
Frank Messer.
In the air, right field again. Baines will have to come in, and he'll be there. And there are 2 down.
And you still got to go hard. This is what you've got to do. And boy, I'll tell you one thing. You got to be just tickled to death for Dot tonight, the way things have gone so far, because, well, you knew the personality that he had to start with. You know he's a bulldog out there, and he was not happy, as everyone could expect, the way things were going. But he's gone out there tonight, and he has just drawn it in a cinch, drawn it in a buckle, and gone right after him.
Well, he's got Dwight Evans moving in at the plate now, with Buckner down at first and 2 away. Evans tonight is grounded out to short, and he's flied to right. Ball 1. Well, the Red Sox just keep coming at you with people who can beat you with one swing of the bat. Evans, 14 homers, 64 RBI. 1-1 to Dwight.
Alley threw on the curveball right there. The off speed, little off speed on that curveball. See what he wants to come back with here. Another one and just missed.
Yep.
But he had him fooled.
2-1 the count.
Buckner's getting a pretty good lead over there. You'd love to see Dot just give him his #1 move.
That was not the number
no.
1.
But at least he put it in his mind that he's aware that he's there. You can't go to sleep on Buckner. He'll steal a base on you.
Supposedly bad legs and all, huh?
He will do that. He did it over in Comiskey Park. Excuse me.
Well, that's right, he did. Time held at Evans' request. Now time back in. Buckner gets pretty fair lead over there at first. He's going. And that one is high, deep, but foul. Well.
You're even on the count, Mr. Messer. Well, we told you Billy Buckner right there. He's out there and he's got a good jump. And I'll tell you, if that pitch is a ball, that's going to be tough to throw him out. He had that good of a jump.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes. There he goes again, and it's fouled off again. This time got a bite out of Carlton Fisk. So again, Buckner will make a U-turn, cut back across the grass. Chicago leading 2-1. Nail-biting time here in the 7th inning. A leadoff single by Buckner. Then Rice and Baylor both flying out to shallow right field. And Dwight Evans the batter.
Well, Carlton Fisk looking over there in the dugout just to check and see. Even though the count's 2-2, Buckner's gone on the last 2 pitches. You want to pitch out. They wanted him to tell Dotson to throw over there. Get him back there a step if you can.
Well, it did cut his lead down just a bit. Now Evans will step out. Time will be called at home plate. Now he's got him leaning back, and the pitch. Bouncer, foul. Maybe get Buckner wore out to the point he cannot come around.
Well, the biggest thing is you just want him to get back there where he ought to be. Take your normal lead and don't be trying to hedge out there and fudge a little bit and get that extra step. And of course the 2 tosses over there have put him back into his normal lead.
They cut him down by a stride, really. That can mean a lot of difference in a ball game. A play on that base runner. He's going, and it is taken for a ball, and he's stolen second base.
Never had a chance. Did not have a chance. There's a case where you went over there twice but then forgot about him. And Buckner is moving on the first movement. He got out there. He was leaning to a one-way lead. He got himself a little bit further out. The one-way lead as he was coming back to the bag. As soon as Dotson lifted that left foot, he switched over and he was gone.
So a base hit here could tie this ball game. 3-2 pitch. Struck him out, and it all becomes academic. No runs, a base hit, the man is left on. And we've completed 7 at Fenway. Chicago 2, Boston 1. On Wednesday, August 27th, when the Sox take on the world champion Kansas City Royals, it'll be Fuji Camera Day. All fans with cameras will be permitted onto the Comiskey Park field beginning at approximately 6 p.m. to take close-up pictures of their favorite Sox stars, compliments of Fuji film. You don't have to have a Fuji camera, just have a camera and come on out. We go to the 8th inning. Sox leading 2-1. Here's Don Drysdale.
All right, Frank, it'll be John Cangelosi to lead it off, followed by Boston and Baines. That's to left center field. Rice is there. Lots of room. Well, the thing that Cangelosi does not want to do, he has done the last 3 times at bat, and that's hit the ball in the air.
Now his base hits are going to come when he hits the ball on the ground, primarily. He's not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He has hit 2 home runs, but that is nothing. His base hits will come on his legs more than the power of his bat.
And that will bring on Boston, who is 0 for 3 tonight. Darrell is flying to center, struck out, and hit one to Barrett his last time. He goes to Barrett this time. 2 outs. Well, very quickly 2 outs as Gene Nelson throwing down in the Sox bullpen as the hitters aren't giving Dotson much of a chance to rest. It'll be interesting to see if Dot comes back out as Harold Baines will stand in. Harold taking a little time getting up there.
Yeah, he's got to take a pitch or 2 also. At least one. Both Cangelosi and Boston went out on 1 pitch. That looks like Schiraldi up out in the Red Sox bullpen. Calvin Schiraldi.
Oh, that's hit deep right field. Way back. Evans looks up. This ball is gone. Home run, Harold Baines. 3-1 White Sox.
Well, that's better than taking one. At that time, I'm sure Baines was up there thinking, hey, the first 2 guys went out on 1 pitch. Boyd is going to try to throw that fastball right down the middle and get a strike on me, knowing I'm not going to swing at that first pitch. So what does he do? He swings at it, and Bush Beer will contribute another $250 to the Chi Sox kids to fight terminal illness in children. There it is. It's right there for him. And Harold jumps all over it for his 16th home run.
Boy, that got out of here in a hurry, and the White Sox a very big run. They lead it 3-1, and that will bring on Jerry Hairston. Now, Harold now has extended his hitting streak to a -4 games, but his 16th home run of the year and 65th RBI. Timmy Hewlett on deck, Harrison the hitter. Jerry 1 for 3 tonight. Right back up the middle. That's a base hit and a ball that Boyd should have made the play on. So Hairston picks up his 2nd hit of the night, and that will bring on Timmy Hewlett. And here comes Johnny McNamara. That might be all for Boyd.
Well, we showed you a moment ago Calvin Schiraldi, the right-hander, out in the Bo Sox bullpen. after getting the first two batters, Cangelosi on a fly to left and Boston on a ground ball to second base. Both first ball hitting. Baines first ball hitting, homer. Hairston first ball hitting, singles to center. Well, Boyd has thrown only 4 pitches in the inning. Gotten 2 men out, given up a run, and finds a base runner over at first base.
Well, they haven't made any move as yet, and now McNamara points to the pen, and that'll be all for Boyd. But he'll get a round of applause as he's pitched a whale of a ball game, Frank.
Well, he went 7 2/3 strong innings tonight. Considering the man has not pitched in a month, he's been under quite a bit of strain. I would have to think a lot of mental pressure brought on by himself primarily, but he has pitched well tonight. Right now, a pitching change is being made. There's a break in the action with the White Sox leading 3-1, and we'll be right back. Calvin Schiraldi is the new pitcher for the Bo Sox. Schiraldi with no one-loss record, 1 save in 6 prior relief appearances. This young man has pitched 15 2/3 innings for the Bo Sox this year and allowed only 1 run. He has allowed 13 base hits, walked only 6, and struck out 17 men. So he has pitched well out of the Bo Sox bullpen. In fact, the entire Boston bullpen has pitched well this year. The bullpen is 3rd in the American League in saves with 28. Baltimore and New York with 33 saves apiece. The Bo Sox bullpen has 28 saves and 33 chances. All of last year, they saved only 29 games for the entire season. So another big reason for the Red Sox success, the bullpen. Here's Don.
And Timmy Hewlett stands in. Looking fastball, got fastball, fouled it back. Well, that home run by Baines, Frank, is 16th of the year. That ties him now with Minnie Minoso in the 2nd spot for the all-time White Sox home run list at 135. Of course, Bill Melton leading with 154. And you've got to believe that before it's all over, Mr. Baines will stand alone in that spot. Pops him up right side and playable. Billy Buckner makes a play, and that'll do it for the Sox. A run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 3-1 White Sox.
Sports Vision is your home for Sox 86 Weekly, the official highlight show of the White Sox. Only on Sports Vision, Chicago's winners on cable. Call your local cable company for details. Gene Nelson comes on to pitch here as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. A very strong 7 innings for Richard Dotson tonight. And what a turnaround for Dot. His best outing certainly since the 4th of July when he pitched a complete game win against the New York Yankees. Nelson with a couple of saves to go with his 1-loss record you saw a moment ago. 82 1/3 innings, 82 hits, a hit an inning, 29 walks, and 49 strikeouts for Gene Nelson. 5 wins and 2 saves, 4 losses, ERA 3.50. And Nelson done a good job at keeping the ball in the ballpark this year. He has allowed but 3 home runs. So 3-1 Chicago lead. Let's look at Dotson's line across. 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. He struck out the last man he faced, Evans. So we go to the bottom half of the 8th. Chicago leading 3-1.
And Rich Gedman will lead it off. It'll be Gedman, Armas, and Quinones in that order. That strikeout, Frank, maybe the biggest strikeout of the evening.
Yes.
Out of play, and the count is 0-1. You're going to get 1 strikeout. That came at the proper time,
yes,
as far as Rich Dotson is concerned.
Just as it appeared that Dot was letting it slip away from him there in the 7th, he reared back and struck Evans out. They got the 3rd out, and now a fresh Gene Nelson on.
Off the end of the bat to Ozzie Guillen. Looks at it, throws him out, 1 away. And that will bring on Tony Armas.
I think it's a good move bringing Nelson in at this stage, Don. You Some managers say, well, we'll leave the other pitcher out there until the guy gets on. I've never completely understood that strategy. As you look at Jack Nicholson.
Talking to Jack Llewellyn, he's doing a film up here. He's going to be up here for about 3 more weeks.
Oh, is he?
He's enjoyed it very much. Gets a chance to get out to the ballpark. As we talked about it before, he's a great sports fan. Oh, and 1. Well, Dotson threw, but 88 pitches, 59 strikes, 29 balls. But Jim Fregosi, as you were talking, just to carry on, I think your train of thought there, Jim wasn't going to let him go out there and just put a man on. He knew he was losing it just a shade. He got out of the 7th inning. Oh, you bring somebody in fresh and they don't come in a jam.
And they have a little leeway. That's very true.
Ozzie Guillen at short to Mormon, and they get him.
You've got to know in your own mind that you're going to have to bring that relief pitcher in sometime. So why not bring him in there to start off the inning? I've never understood that philosophy. Well, maybe nobody will get on and the other guy will pitch a complete game. But if you feel he's losing it, and if he feels he's losing it, your coaches feel that way, make the change.
Well, we're going to have a pinch hitter for Quinones, and we'll see who comes out.
That's going to be Mike Greenwell. He's the young man now that led off the 9th inning of Cowley's ball game. Wasn't it Cowley who walked him as the leadoff hitter and brought a few thrills before the White Sox held on to win the ball game? That's who it's going to be, Mike Greenwell.
Now Greenwell will come on and hit. This is only his 3rd at bat since he's been here. His 4th game. His 3rd official at bat. He has walked 1 time, and that was at Comiskey Park, the game we were just talking about. And he takes a strike 0-1.
If I recall that game correctly, that was the game Cowley walked a couple of guys in the 9th inning, and Bo James got the final out to save it.
That was it. Schmidt and Searage behind Nelson. Whoever's outside. 1-1 the count. Sammy Stewart down in the Sox bullpen. Make it the Red Sox bullpen. A little bit low. The count goes to 2-1. Pop foul out of play, and the count even at 2-2. Getting a wave going here at Fenway. Struck him out. Good fastball by Nelson. Now the Red Sox are gone 1-2-3 in the 8th inning, and we're through 8 with the White Sox leading it 3-1.
The next game on Channel 32 on the White Sox Network comes your way tomorrow night at 6:30 when the Sox play right here at Fenway Park against Boston. The probable pitchers, left-handers, Floyd Bannister for Chicago and Bruce Hurst for Boston. Don?
And Mormon will take a strike off of Schiraldi. It'll be Mormon, Fisk, and Guillen in that order. Here in the top of the 9th inning. Outside, and the count 1-1. Ed Romero, the new shortstop for the Red Sox. Mormon 1 for 3. That's low. The count goes to 2-1. But that base hit, a very big base hit, leading off the 5th inning. And then followed by the home run by Carlton Fisk that hit the foul pole to give the Sox their 2-0 lead at that time. Ooh, we got a good pitch, fouled it back. The Red Sox got a run in the 6th inning on a home run by Tony Armas, but the White Sox came back in the 8th. A home run by Harold Baines, and that's where we stand, 3-1 White Sox. And we're in the top of the 9th.
And young Russ Morman has hit in every game in which he has played.
Yes, sir. That's hit to center field. Armas giving ground. He is there. 1 out. And that'll bring on Carlton Fisk. Pudge 2 for 3 tonight with a pair of RBIs. In his 9th home run of the year, as I just mentioned, in the 5th inning, RBIs 47 and 48. With Ozzie Guillen on deck. If you're looking ahead to the Red Sox 9th, they have the top of the order: Barrett, Boggs, and Buckner. Out of play right side, 0-1. 35,236. Another good crowd in attendance tonight.
Well, if you go back earlier in the game when we showed you the field facts and the capacity here, 33,000 plus, it is a standing room only crowd.
The count. Off the end of the bat, squib to Romero. He goes to Buckner in time. Two outs to Ozzie Guillen. Ozzie tonight is 1 for 3. He's bounced a second in the 3rd. He's singled and stole a base in the 5th, and he has popped to short in the 7th. On deck, Julio Cruz. Down the left side, slicing foul territory. That'll be back in the seats. Boy, it's just a beautiful day and beautiful evening here in New England.
And for Sox fans, some beautiful figures out on the scoreboard. Chicago 3 and Boston 1.
High chopper, Romero. It's short. That'll do it. Sox are going in the 9th inning. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 9th with the White Sox leading it 3-1.
And Sunday, August 17th, prior to the start of the White Sox Brewers game, the Equitable Old Timers game will be held at Comiskey Park. This game will match White Sox stars of the 70s, such as Bucky Dent, Bill Melton, and Ken Berry, against baseball greats of the 70s, including Frank Howard, Sudden Sam McDowell, and Al Oliver, just to name a few. The Equitable Old Timers game will begin at noon. And our special thanks to the Palmer House, the official hotel for the 1986 Equitable Old Timers game. Don't forget that date, Sunday, August 17th. At Comiskey Park.
Here's Marty Barrett as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Man, the White Sox on top 3-1. Gene Nelson missing outside. The count 1-0. Barrett 0 for 3 is flying to right, fouled out to Fisk, and he's bounced to short. Wade Boggs on deck. There's a strike, and the count 1-1. Frank, right here, this could be the biggest out of the ball game.
Oh, yes. You got to get that leadoff man.
I've talked about it before, but I can remember talking at length with the late Burley Grimes, and he said there are 9. First time I'd met Burley, I was in the International League at Montreal. He was down in Columbus, and I was talking to him. He said there's 9 important outs in the ball game, the most important outs. And he said, what are they? And I was standing there, I was thinking a little bit. And he said, well, he said, let me just tell you right off here, young man. He said, it's a leadoff hitter in every inning. And boy, I'll tell you, if that didn't sink in and indelibilize, nothing ever did.
Unfortunately, while you were talking about that, we saw something we don't like to see, and that is Darrell Boston having to carry an empty can that had to be thrown. They don't grow out there in the grass.
No. A ball and a strike to Barrett. And that's hit to right center field. Boston giving ground. He is there, makes the catch, one away.
Well, I'll tell you something. Burley Grimes could not have spoke truer words. I think you will agree with that as a pitcher. And the fact that you mention it now and you say you learned that when you were in the International League, that was very early in your career. You had to remember it.
Oh, that was just my second year in professional ball. But it really sank in. It really sank in. What a boy, I'll tell you, he was quite a man. We just lost Burley a while back. Here's Wade Boggs as he takes a strike. And the count is 0-1. Just outside, a ball and a strike to Boggs.
I'll tell you one thing, if he pulled Nelson, he could run forever. They've got him played all the way around to the left side in the outfield.
And the count goes to 2-1. Boggs tonight has been on an air. Fly to center and bounce to second. He's 0 for 3 with Billy Buckner on deck. Out of play, and the count goes to 2-2. Baltimore trouncing Texas after 7-9-1. They're in the 8th inning in a 1-1 tie. Milwaukee and New York. Righetti's in there. I don't know if Milwaukee's doing anything now. And in the 2nd inning of that doubleheader, Detroit winning the first 6-5. They lead the second 4-1. Look out for the Bengals. Got him. Oh, foul tipped, and Fisk couldn't hold it. Got a piece of it and cannot hold on to it. So the count remains 2-2. In the 8th inning, it is Kansas City 8-6 over Toronto. And in the 3rd inning, California leading Minnesota at Minnesota 5-1. Oakland will be at Seattle on the coast starting later. Bounce up the middle. Guillen over. Good play. Throws, and they get him. What a play by Guillen, and Mormon went out as far as he could go.
Boy, an excellent play on both ends of it. Guillen getting to that ball, let alone being able to throw him out. And let's look at it again. Ozzie will go deep to the glove side, to his left, right there on the deck. Scrambles up. Low throw, and watch Mormon come out to take the throw as he split as far as he could. Another angle on it. Ozzie scrambling, throwing, and a good play on the receiving end by Mormon. And 2 down.
And here's Billy Buckner. I'll tell you, Mormon can stretch out there at first as far as anybody I've seen in a while.
Yes, sir. He does get out there, doesn't he?
Buckner takes down low. Billy 1 for 3 tonight. He singled his last time at bat, so he's had just 2 hits in his last 25 at bats.
Russ Mormon is 6'4", and he uses all of it and uses it well.
Yes, he does. 1-0 the count. And it's 2-0. Jim Rice on deck. So here's a man that Nelson wants. You can't be too fine with Billy Buckner.
He's been a tough out tonight. Routine fly ball in the 1st inning, but a great catch by Boston in the 4th, and a base hit in the 7th.
There's a strike, and boy, he is hot. He doesn't like that call at all, and he tells Nick Bremigan so real quick. There was a big strike, and Buckner saying, don't tell me, I know the strike zone. I've been around here a few years. In fact, been around longer than Bremigan.
Well, he probably has, yeah. Quickly, Rene Latchman, the 3rd base coach, comes down to get Buckner, and now Johnny McNamara is out, trying to calm Buckner down. He doesn't want his left-hand hitter to be thrown out of the ball game here with a chance to bring the tying run to the plate. We'll take another look at that strike that had Buckner so upset. Well, I can understand why he's a little bit upset.
There was a nice receiving job of Carlton Fisk. That little backhand, little sweep upward. A little trick of the trade for some of you young catchers out there. 2-1 the count.
Be careful, though. It can work both ways.
Yes, sir. That's hit to left center field. Boston off with a crack of the bat in there. Hey, and he runs it down. So Buckner hits it hard. Darrell Boston runs it down, and the White Sox have made it 2 in a row over the Red Sox. Tonight, a great pitching performance by Richard Dotson, the save to Nelson. White Sox win it 3-1. We'll be back. The Red Sox a run on 3. It's no errors. They left a pair. Richard Dotson the winner. He is now 8-10. May make that 8-12, and Oil Can Boyd takes a loss. He is 11-7, and Gene Nelson picks up the save. That is his 3rd of the year. And the Nissan Player of the Game award goes to Richard Dotson. The Chicago area dealers are proud to present $100 in his name to Chicago Baseball Cancer Charities. So here tonight at, well, you might say the friendly confines as far as the White Sox are concerned over the last couple of nights of Fenway Park. Why, they've had 2 good ball games. 1-0 last night, 3-1 tonight, and I don't know what you can say. You just put those 2 pieces together. Dotson, Nelson tonight, a couple of timely hits, and that's what you need. Pitching and hold them there.
Well, and I'll tell you, pitching was the name of the game tonight. Not only Dotson, you got to say Oil Can Boyd came back from his suspension very well and pitched a fine ball game for Boston. But as far as Sox fans are concerned, perhaps Dotson has turned the corner again. He's turned it a couple of times this year. You had to like the way that he pitched in the ball game tonight.
Well, you sure happen to do that. And, of course, tomorrow night, the 3rd and final game, and it'll be the battle of left-handers, Floyd Bannister and Bruce Hurst, and that ought to be a good one right there. Banny coming off of 2 great starts.
Yes, he is, and we're looking forward to that one.
Well, our next game on WFLD will be tomorrow at 6:30 when the White Sox play the Boston Red Sox. Tonight's game was produced by Jim Angio. Coordinating producer was Lorene Ong. Production manager was Ken Kolb. Assistant production manager was Tom Fix. The studio director, Karen Barnett. Remote facilities provided by WSBK-TV of Boston. The executive producer for the WFLD Chicago White Sox Network was Bob Simoni. Once again, the final score, the White Sox 3, the Red Sox 1. For Frank Messer, I'm Don Drysdale saying good evening from Fenway Park in Boston. The preceding has been a sports presentation of Fox Television Stations Incorporated and the Chicago White Sox.